Hey guys, so today I'm going to do a little recovery vlog. Before I get started, I want to tell you that I am in a pug onesie, and I'm going to have to prove that it's a pug onesie if I can find the hood. Oh yeah, I'm a pug. Now that that's out of the way, here's an update on my last recovery vlog. I was very tearful, and it was a very raw vlog, which I think is okay to do a raw vlog every once in a while. I don't want everyone to be me depressed and sad and crying, which definitely does happen in my real life, but I don't want to project that onto you guys. I want to keep this channel a positive channel. I declare this a positive channel. If you saw my other video, then you'll get that. But to update on that, last time I was worried about these little changes that might never happen, and things about me changing my workload at school and things like me doing a new type of therapy. But I actually talked to my therapist about doing the new therapy, and she said it was okay that I didn't want to. So that was resolved like that. But to update you guys on an even bigger change that's going on in my life, well, before I had those little changes, now I have a big change. I am moving. That's right. I live in New England right now. Very cold place, very sporadic weather. I'm going to be moving down south to the Carolina area, where it will be more warm and there will be less snow, but I'm really sad about it because I've only ever lived in New England my entire life. I'm 18 years old. I've lived here for 18 years in the same house, and now that's all going to be different. I'm going to be in a new house, and that's really weird to me because I've never left this house. And if you guys are older than me and you've been through moves, please give me advice. Because it's really stressful right now for me and my family. The house is up for sale. Like, this is for sure gonna happen. The house is up for sale. We've already had some showings. It was just up like 4 days ago, and we've had like 4 showings in 4 days. Sorry about that, guys, my camera just died. Oh, before I continue, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm still taking questions for my Q&A. So pretend I just interrupted the video for this special commercial break I'm still accepting questions, so leave your questions down below. How I feel about moving, I don't really mind leaving the state that much. The biggest issue for me is leaving my doctors. As you know, in my last video, my last recovery vlog, I got very tearful when I was talking about, I got very upset when I was talking about leaving my doctor to see a new therapist. And I feel even worse about that now because I'm definitely leaving her probably forever. I've seen my doctors for the past 2 years, and I don't want to leave them. And that's my biggest issue about moving, because I'll have to get new doctors, and that's going to be really hard to open up to them and trust them. But I have already looked up some CBT therapists around where I'm going to be living, so that's good. We did find a place. They do exposure and response prevention therapy. They also do DBT therapy, which could be useful in the future. And they even have an intensive outpatient program for adults. Now, this is kind of funny, kind of really sad when you think about it, but when I was in the OCD program at my local mental hospital, it was an intensive outpatient program, and it was for kids and adolescents, and I thought they would always say there's only 2 in the country like this, and I was like, there's only 2 in the country? I'm 16. What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go if I turn 18? What am I gonna do? And then I realized the other day, there's only 2 for kids. There are plenty for adults. Thanks, Tom, Brian, Jason, Sue. Thank you guys. Those are the names of my therapists in the program. They've seen my videos before, so just in case they watch these, I'm just gonna call them out on it. They freaked me out. I know that's their job, but not about that. So now I know there are plenty for adults. I will be okay if I have a relapse of bad OCD. I can just head up in there. There's something different about this IOP program down south, though, is that there's only 4 people at a time. I think I did 3. That's way different. I feel like that would be actually better, though, than so many at a time at the one I was at before. But either way, I'm just happy I have that safety net just in case I need it. Also, I looked up a naturopath in that area, and to update on one of my previous recovery vlogs, I want to get into naturopathic therapies for my mental health. Right now I'm taking medications, but I'd like to be off of those soon. So I contacted her and she gave me her rates and stuff like that. I haven't emailed her back yet, but I think I'll go with her if I decide to get naturopathy while I'm down there, which I most likely will. It depends on the finance situation at the time. Yeah, I'm blessed because I still live with my parents. They still pay for my medical bills and stuff like that. I mean, I couldn't pay for it alone. Let's be honest here. I have a lot of medical bills, mental health related, so I couldn't pay for that. And I'm so blessed to have parents who will pay for that and who help me get the treatment I need. Thank you, Dad. He's in the other room. But I think he just said you're welcome. Also, I wanted to talk to you guys about something really special I did for mental health awareness. The other day, I did a presentation in my psychology class because in the beginning of the semester, she gave us the opportunity to, well, actually it was an assignment to do a lab report and have it be experimented on basically online. It wasn't like a lab rat thing. It was an online experiment. And I opted out of doing that because actually in psychology, ethically, you cannot force someone to do an experiment. So if it's a psychology class and that's an assignment, they have to do something, have something alternative to that assignment. So the alternative was to do a presentation on a mental disorder, and I was like, ding, I have an idea. Since I know about mental health, a lot about mental health, I know a lot about OCD, anxiety and depression, I figured I should totally do this presentation. It's a great way to spread awareness. And so I did that the other day. And I did a presentation on my experience with OCD, which it was hard, but not as hard as I expected it, honestly. Yeah, I basically just told them my story, how I got diagnosed, and then I actually didn't tell them it was me until the end, and I was like, by the way, that was me, and believe me, OCD is not something to be taken lightly. And I actually filmed myself saying that, so maybe I'll upload that if you guys want it. Actually, even if you don't want it, I might upload that. Afterwards, we did a Q&A, and my class wasn't very talkative, but my teacher had a lot of questions, so I answered her questions, and I hope the kids, even though they don't talk much, I hope they got an understanding of what it's like really having OCD, and what it's like really having mental illness, and how much of a real struggle it is. And that's what I hope they got out of that. And yeah, my teacher seemed to enjoy it. Actually, she did enjoy it. She told me today I got an A on it when she presented me with an award for my outstanding achievement or something like that, my academic achievement in psychology. And I talked about that in my Declaring a Positive Day video. Not the first one, but the second one I just filmed a few minutes ago. And then I don't know if I've uploaded it yet or not, but I'll link it somewhere, maybe. But anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. So I'm gonna move on. So I had a psychology appointment, not psychology, a psychiatry appointment the other day. Because as I said, my psychologist is on maternity leave, and I actually set up with my psychiatrist to meet him every 2 weeks. So that's good, which I was really happy about because we thought maybe I wouldn't be able to, but it turns out I could. So that's good for me. I get that help that I need. And in a way, I'm actually really happy about this because I do a lot of exposures. Well, not a lot. I've just recently started doing exposures with my psychiatrist at the meetings. And lately, I've been wanting to work on my OCD more and do more exposures and do more intensive stuff. Like, not really, well, yeah, pretty much intensive stuff. And I've been wanting to do more. I've been wanting to have more help with my exposures. So, and I was thinking like, what? I wonder if they would let me back into the program. And then I was kind of like, I don't want to, but I'm leaving school, and it turns out I don't even think I need to do that now because I have this 2-week exposure meeting, basically, that will be like my intensive therapy. And we actually, I'm going to talk about the exposure I did with him, but let me just look at my notes first to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So we decided to do an exposure, because last time I did an exposure with him, and then I'm gonna do it again. If you don't know what an exposure is, I can link that video that I made about it somewhere. I like doing this somewhere motion lately. But so we decided to do an exposure, and we were talking about what exposures to do, and I had a list. I actually had made a hierarchy of exposures to do specifically with him. He asked me about the exposures, and I told him that they were all 10s except for one that was an 8. And he said, oh, can we do something a little easier? And I was like, I do 10s, that's not a big deal. And he was like, wow, you're like an exposure animal. And I was like, okay. And he said, he actually said, you should name your channel Exposure Animal. I was like, no thank you. But he is, like I've said before, he's a total goober. But he has the worst jokes. I taught him what dad's jokes are the other day. But his jokes are definitely dad jokes. They're so bad, but they amuse me. Dad jokes and puns are just like my total type of humor. If you have a pun for me, leave it in the comments below, okay? If you've watched this far, because I'm just rambling about my life. Anyway, so we decided to do an exposure that was a 10. And if you don't know this already, I have intrusive thoughts about my psychiatrist. So he makes me really anxious. Just going to the meetings makes me anxious. And so doing an exposure with him was like a big deal. Like last time I did it, I actually posted on Google+. I was like, you guys, I did a big exposure. And I actually told you guys about it in a previous recovery vlog. But anyway, I did an exposure with him where I actually sit next to him. And we were sitting next to each other on this like small couch. And it was really awkward. And at first I wasn't looking at him, but I was like, I feel like I should be looking at you, and I'm not gonna get the full effect unless I'm looking at you. So we both like stared at each other basically for like 20 minutes. It was so awkward. At first I was like, it's so awkward, and he was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, oh, you, and like it's kind of funny because when you mention doing an exposure with him, he'll get this like huge smile on his face, and I'm just like, you are so weird. Does my pain really give you that much joy? I think it's funny how you talk to him about an exposure, he'll get so excited, and it's like, no, you're crazy. You're just crazy. Anyway, we did that exposure, and it was hard. At first it was easy, and I actually habituated. I started at a 9, I think, or a 10 actually, 9 or 10. I habituated down to like a 6, and then, well, that's the scale of how I measure my anxiety, by the way. I'm not just shooting out numbers. That's how I measure my anxiety. 10 is the highest, 0 is the lowest. And so I started at a 10, I went down to about a 6, and then I started getting a lot of intrusive thoughts, and they were all different sorts of thoughts about like, we are so close right now. I was basically just like saying, like, I wasn't saying it, but I was getting thoughts like, we are literally so close. I could like reach out and just like touch him. I could just, it's just like, it's so close, just so close. And it was really freaking me out. So I went up to like a 9 again, and at that point we had to stop. So he wanted me to do another exposure that I could actually habituate to while during the time in between appointments. So we decided, well, he got this idea for this exposure. I don't know where it came from in his crazy brain, or if he has this kind of like master list of exposures. I'm sure doctors, all psychologists must have a master list of every kind of exposure you can do for every kind of OCD, and I don't have that master list, and I kind of want it, but I guess he just pulled this out of the archives or something, because he said, at first he was saying, could you say like something that you were thinking, and I was like, no, that's too hard, and then he asked me to say just one word, and I was like, no, that's too hard, but then he got the idea that maybe he could say what he thinks I was thinking about and I don't correct him. And I was like, that sounds hard but doable. So that's what we did, and it's still bothering. I just had another technical difficulty. Sorry about that. As I was saying, and what he said for what he thinks I had intrusive thoughts about was the word, it was supposed to be PG, it was PG, but it still bothered me a ton. He said the word touch, and I was like, what? You're about to see some real life obsessing action right here. Real life OCD obsessing action. Why? Where? When? How? Touch? What does that mean? What? I don't know what goes on in his mind half the time, so I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know, but I have to know because I have OCD. Why? But it's a good exposure, man. It's a good exposure. And we'll see if I habituate by 2 weeks from now when I have the next appointment. I'm gonna say I won't. I'm just gonna put a guess out there. I don't think I'm gonna habituate. because I know me, I take a while to habituate to things, and this was hard. Well, I feel better about it than I did yesterday, I think. I haven't done like a sit-down exposure about it yet, but it's still bothering me, definitely. Trying not to continue obsessing about it on camera. But there you go, guys. That's a glimpse into the mind of someone with OCD. Not only OCD, but OCD about their psychiatrist, and about words that he says. About words that he says that might relate to what I have intrusive thoughts about him about, if that makes sense at all. So yeah, there's your glimpse into the world of OCD, the OCD mind. And that's my recovery vlog! Yay! So I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about, and I'm anxious now because I brought that up and I said that word. Okay, so I'm gonna continue on with my nights. It is 9:24 p.m. I already took a shower today, which is weird because I keep forgetting to take showers at night, so that's bad, and I keep rambling. You don't care about this stuff. So I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Still taking questions for my Q&A. Put those in the comments below about anything I said in this video, anything I've ever said on this channel, or anything I've never said on this channel. Ask me questions about literally anything you want. Thank you guys for watching. That has been my video, and I will see you all later. Bye! Shalom! That was a weird shalom, but shalom.